Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm going to be taking these three items right here and turning them into this arched vine entrance for that Viking themed wedding that I've been working on. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to work on is the skeletons, getting them ready to go. I had him do the corpsing, so this way he could put them in the, I guess you could say, the state that he wanted them in, or the specific look he was kind of going for. So he did that portion. Now I'm going to do the painting. Once they're ready, then I'll start putting the arch together, and we'll go from there. All right, I painted both of them two different ways just to kind of get an idea of what direction I kind of wanted to go with it. Now, the first one right here is pretty much all one neutral color. Nothing really stands out too much. But, I mean, I still think it looks good. It definitely has a nice, good, look and character to it. The second one, I decided to kind of make it to where any exposed bone that's been exposed to the elements and stuff like that kind of started to stand out a little bit. So those I kind of lightened up and then kind of darkened them with some stain and things like that to kind of give those a little bit of a character, just kind of make them pop out a little bit. And I gotta say, I do like this one better than that one because it just, I don't know, it looks more creepy. It gives it a little bit more character, I think. Plus, it gives it a little more dimension to it, I guess. So I think I'm going to go this route. So I'm going to do that one next, and then we will get started on the arch. Okay, so I got them both done, ready to go. You see I put the ropes on here. The ropes are kind of to complete the overall look too. It's also going to act as an area for me to put my zip ties on the backside so you don't see how they're fastened to the arch itself. It's going to look like the ropes are what's doing it. Like I said, they're both done, completed, ready to go. Let's go ahead and get the arch assembled, and I'll show you what their plan is and what direction we're going with it. All right, so the skeletons are attached to the ring. Next step is to start taking pool noodles and start working them around, kind of try to make them look like vines and all that. So what my plan here is to kind of hold them in place at the bottom. I just drilled a little small hole in the metal right there, quite a few of them. I'm going to start off by just putting a wood screw and a couple of them, cut the head off of them so I could take the actual noodle and kind of stab it on top of the screw, and that's what's going to keep it from moving. And as I start working around it, I'll add more screws if I want to add more pieces coming up from the bottom to really build the base up a little bit, and then let it all feather out as it gets to the top. So go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so I'm at this point right now. Y'all probably thinking the same thing I am. Just looks like a giant twisted mess of pool noodles. Nothing super impressive, but it is a work in progress. So you notice I started with those three main pieces. Those are the ones that are kind of running the main structure, and they went around the skeletons and the main frame to kind of generate the overall rounded effect that we have here. The next I'm working on is doing some infill right here, and that's what these are for right here, so I have something to build off of. I want to give this thing the look like it's not being maintained. It's out in the middle of nowhere. The nature's starting to take effect and it's overgrowing and it's kind of filling itself in. Because obviously, if if this was like in somebody's garden, they're regularly pruning it, it would have a nice look. But that's not what we're going for here. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. Now these are a little long, so I have a little bit of flexibility with them at the moment because I'm trying to keep in mind that as we have guests show up, and if I have two people standing side by side walking through here, we want to make sure that they can walk through here without touching it. So I got to make sure it's not too far this way. Once I get that figured out, I'll go ahead and cut these short, lock them in place where they need to be. Then I'm going to take some poo noodles, cut them into 4 pieces, and then just start filling all this stuff right here, creating like this, webbing lattice kind of effect to it to really kind of give this the look like it's all starting to overgrow and all that kind of stuff. Once I'm happy with all that and I don't plan on doing any tweaking to it or making any adjustments as far as moving anything around, then I'm going to start figuring out how I'm going to get this painted and we'll start to see this thing come to life. Okay, so I made it to this point right here. I kind of feel that I'm about ready for paint. You see I got a whole bunch of little small vines and larger vines. Everything's kind of intertwined into each other. No real rhyme or reason. I was just kind of snaking them around and do whatever I could to try to give it as natural look as possible. Kind of put some overhead here. I'm 6'6" and I can pretty much clear it. It just touches my hair, so I shouldn't have any trouble with anybody else going through it. So I think I'm kind of at the point where I really don't really see much more I can really do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting some paint on it. I sure hope it starts to look much better when I get the paint, because right now it looks like complete chaos. It looks like a complete freaking mess. So let's get some paint on this thing, see what it looks like. All right, so I got the first coat on. I definitely got some more to do. I got some ones that are definitely didn't get enough on them. You still see like the blue and the red kind of poking through, so I got to put a little bit more on it. So I'm gonna do one more quick spray on it. Once that's dry, then I'll start doing some kind of like some lighter browns and some blacks and stuff like that to kind of give them a little more dimension to them. But moving right along. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and consider the main structure to be done. The only detail left is they have a deer skull they want to mount right up there, so we'll find a way to mount that as it gets closer to their wedding time. One of the things I wanted to do when I was doing these vines is I wanted to kind of wrap them around and through and possibly in the skeletons to kind of give them the look that they've been kind of here for a long time, and Mother Nature's starting to do her thing where she starts growing around and through things. So I wanted to kind of give them that look. That's why I put the skeletons on first. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way this one come out. I think adding all the little bits and pieces of the little small vines definitely filled it in like I was hoping it was going to do. It definitely gives it a little bit more of an overgrowth kind of look to it. It was a real pain to paint, I'll tell you that. With all the pieces being really small and using the spray gun and these things are flapping all over the place, it was definitely hard getting good coverage on them. But it took a little bit, but I got it all covered. Overall, I think the coloring of it is pretty good. It'll probably need a little bit of fine tuning here or there as it gets closer, but for now, I think it's in pretty good shape. I might do something different with that plywood down on the bottom, as far as maybe covering it differently, but for now, I just painted it green just so we see what it looks like later on. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Leave me a comment, tell me what y'all think of this particular one. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.